Alright, here's some stupid bullshit that I've been meaning to try out for quite a while. And I finally did. It's actually not that bad. In fact, you might even say that it's good or viable. That's the word that everybody likes to use. So I'm running, for the most part, yeah, actually it's full assassins except for one weapon. I'm not sure why I get like a little bit of extra healing power because I got some healing infusions, but it's pretty much all assassins and berserker, and it's all bunker traits. So full bunker traits, full glass, except for one weapon. Okay, so the Sanctuary Rune gives you a bonus where 20% of the heals that you receive are converted into barrier. So obviously we're pretty glassy in terms of equipment, but with the Sanctuary Rune, a bunch of heals, which we're going to take a look at in a second, you get a lot of barrier on core Ele, and you can actually do decent damage because we're like full Zerg basically. So we have Arcane Restoration. It's going to proc heals whenever we switch attunements. It's also going to proc from the Signet of Restoration. And you're going to get even more when we attune to water. Yeah, 115 from attuning to water. But like, say for example, fire without the Signet would be 45. We're getting quite a lot out of just this trait, the Signet, and the water attune. We're also healing when we attune to water. So actually getting health back is nice. I mean, we're healing from all of these things. And because we're taking the Written in Stone trait, we can use these Signets whenever we want, basically off of cooldown whenever it's useful. You could even use it when you're at full health, because watch. Actually, okay, that one. Okay, there wasn't much to see there. Nothing happened. So the Signet of Water, it can trick you if you're just testing this out. If you actually end up healing anything from that Signet, then you will get the barrier. But if you just do it without any damage on you, it's not going to actually give you the barrier. It's going to look like nothing happened, but yeah. So you can just use these Signets whenever you want for quite a lot of heals. Actually, let's see if we can find an NPC, and I'll show you how much it actually heals for. Of course, with the dagger on core Ele, we've got a lot of mobility, so that kind of makes up for the fact that we don't have any super speed, and that's generally pretty important on Ele when you're in World vs. World, because, you know, it's World vs. World, and if you want to solo roam, you're going to get a bunch of people just trying to gank you, like 3v1, and then they're like, oh, get owned, noob, and it's like, but like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It looks like I'm not doing a lot of damage on the Salamander Drake. I don't know how much toughness they have, but for some reason they actually are kind of tanky. Like, the first time I tested this out, I thought, oh, my auto attack is barely doing any damage on these Drakes. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason it just doesn't do any damage on the Drakes, but you do that on an actual player, it's decent damage. You can take people down relatively easily if you rotate effectively. We've also got the Flow Like Water trait here, so we're going to get a heal whenever we block or evade an attack every 10 seconds. And of course it's going to proc more barrier. I take the Stop, Drop, and Roll trait. I could take the Soothing Ice because that's going to proc. We have this Elemental Shielding trait here, which means that any aura you get is going to be converted into protection. So this is protection. This is protection. And this is protection. And that's why we can run full Zerg, basically. You got all this barrier, a bunch of heals. I mean, it's pretty crazy being able to just use these Signets. You're still getting heals after you do it. You can still use it because of this trait. I find that conditions tend to be a larger problem in this build, even though we're taking the Earth and Blessing, which is going to give you a bunch of endurance whenever you receive any of these conditions, chilled, cripple, or immobilize. And it also decreases the duration. Now you're also decreasing the duration of conditions with the Signet of Water, which is again what makes this build pretty strong. But I find that actually isn't enough. Isn't that funny how that isn't enough? You know, like nothing is ever enough to fight Condi builds in at least World v World. I don't know, like, I'm kind of out of touch with PvP, so I don't know how it is there. But in World v World, Condi is just ridiculous. So even that is not enough, so I run the Sigil of Cleansing as well, because, I mean, you could run a full anti-Condi build and you'll still struggle versus conditions, because it's balanced, and if you get owned by a Condi build, well, it just means you suck at the game. Or maybe Condi is overpowered, but we're not allowed to say that. You know, you might piss some people off by saying that, so not allowed to say that. Anyway, you can cleanse conditions with the Cleansing Water trait as well. It's a good trait. You're going to cleanse a condition whenever you attune to water, because you're going to proc that regen, and regen will cleanse a condition. You also cleanse a condition when you proc Frost Aura the second time, because you get regen from that. You got to cleanse from Cleansing Wave. Yeah, we already went over the Sigil of Cleansing. I take the Bountiful Power because I don't really need the extra cleansing wave, because most of the time if I'm getting owned by a Condi player, then I usually don't, I'm usually immobilized or CC'd, and I usually can't even get that dodge off anyway, so it doesn't matter. I don't really care. I'd rather just have the damage, especially because we are running all bunker traits here. So yeah, at first glance this build looks like it's ridiculous, but it's actually pretty good. Sanctuary runes, you get them from a dungeon, so it's kind of annoying to get these runes, but once you got them, just keep a set of armor with Sanctuary runes. I don't have any in my inventory, but you can run the Triumphant Reward track. I don't even, yeah, here. You get these armor boxes, you can stat select them to whatever you want, and just have a secondary set, put some Sanctuary runes on it, and just keep them on there, you know, because, or put them in your bank when you're done using it, because Sanctuary Rune is kind of annoying to get, but once you have it, you know, obviously don't get rid of it.
You will fear for your life. If you don't, you're incredibly naive.